quarters. Get the lieutenant.
Holy Christmas! That thing's doing about 4,000.
Dang it.
This is Lieutenant Ferris to Charlie Baker.
We have come to visit you in peace and with goodwill.
Mr. Roboto.
You're wondering who I am. Machine of magic man. With parts made in Japan. I am the Modern Man. I've got the secret I've been hiding under my skin. My heart is human, my blood is boiling, my brain IBL.
Gort, Declan of Roscoe.
Acting strangely, and don't be surprised. I'm just a man who needed someone.
Get that ambulance over here. Take him to Walter Reed Hospital right away. Yes, sir.
Just give me a light, somewhere to hide, to give me a light.
My name is Harley, Secretary to the President. I've been told you speak our language. Now that your name is Mr. Klaatu?
Just Klaatu. This is not a personal matter, Mr. Harley. It concerns all the people on your planet. I want to meet with representatives from all the nations of the Earth. My mission here is not to solve your petty squabbles. It concerns the existence of every last creature on it. I intend to explain to all the nations at the same time. Then I suggest a meeting of all the chiefs of state.
Believe me, you don't understand.
I don't want to resort to threats, Mr. Harley. I merely tell you that the future of your planet is at stake. I urge that you transmit that message to the nations of the Earth.
I will make that recommendation to the President. Good night, sir.
This is the toughest material I ever saw, General. For hardness and strength, it's out of this world.
The skeletal structure is completely normal. The tests show the same for the major organs. The heart, liver, spleen, kidneys. Afternoon, Mr. Harley.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to see you up and around.
Thank you. I will not speak with any one nation or group of nations. I don't intend to add my contribution to your childish jealousies and suspicions.
Our problems are very complex, Klaatu. You mustn't judge us too harshly.
I can judge only by what I see.
Your impatience is quite understandable.
I'm impatient with stupidity.
Damn!
Oh, I must ask that you don't attempt to leave the hospital. Our military people have insisted on this.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. boys, we don't like it. So we getting up and going down. Hiding low, looking right to left. If you see us coming, I think it's best to move away. Do you hear what I say from under my breath? Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak. Don't you be around. Don't you be around.
My name is Carpenter. I'm looking for a room.
Oh, I see.
Tonight there's gonna be trouble. Some of us won't survive. See me and the boys, we mean business. Bust out, they're alive.
Bobby, who's the greatest man in America today?
Well, you mean the smartest man in the whole world?
Yes, that would do nicely.
Professor Barnhart, I guess. He's the greatest scientist in the whole world.
He lives right here in Washington, doesn't he?
Right near where my mom works.
Where's that?
Department of Commerce. She's a secretary.
Bobby, I have an idea. Let's go and see Professor Barnhart and find out how he talks.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Wouldn't you like to meet him?
Ground control to Major Tom.
This is where he works.
Ground control to Major Tom.
It's a problem in celestial mechanics.
I'll bet he's the only one in the world that knows the answer.
He doesn't know the answer. And he'll never get it that way.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Hey, where you going?
If he's that difficult to see, perhaps we ought to leave a calling card.
Engines on.
3, 2.
Check ignition and make.
What are you doing in here?
Would you give this to the professor? I think he'll want to talk.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You really
You wrote this?
It was a clumsy way to introduce myself. With variation of parameters, this is the answer.
How can you be so sure? Have you tested this theory?
I find it works well enough to get me from one planet to another. I am Klaatu. I would like to explain something of my mission here. So long as you were limited to fighting among yourselves with your primitive tanks and aircraft, we were unconcerned. But soon, one of your nations will apply atomic energy to spaceships. That will create a threat to the peace and security of other planets. That, of course, we cannot tolerate. I came here to warn you that by threatening danger, your planet faces danger. Very grave danger.
Grave danger? Is there another kind?
I'm prepared, however, to offer a solution. I come to you as a last resort, and I confess my patience is wearing thin. Must I take drastic action in order to get a hearing?
What sort of action do you mean?
Violent action, since that seems to be the only thing your people understand. Leveling New York City, sinking the Rock of Gibraltar.
Would you be willing to meet with the group of scientists I'm calling together?
That's why I came to see you.
You mentioned a demonstration of force.
Yes.
Would such a demonstration be possible before the meeting?
Yes, of course.
Something that would dramatize for them and for their people the seriousness of the situation. Something that would affect the entire planet.
That can easily be arranged.
Maybe a little demonstration.
Something dramatic, but not destructive. Would the day after tomorrow be all right? Say about noon.
Rummy?
This is the greatest man.
Klaatu asks Bobby whether he has a flashlight he can borrow.
It's a real Boy Scout one.
Fine.
What do you need it for?
The light in my room went out.
Oh.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. into this house we're born. To this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, and nectar out alone, riders on the storm, killer on the road. His brain is falling like a toad.
Bobby, what are you doing up at this hour?
I couldn't sleep, Mom. I had to tell you. After you left, I followed Mr. Carpenter. And where do you think he went? Right into the spaceship.
Now, Bobby, wait a minute.
Honest, Mom, I saw him. It opened up and he walked right in. And that big iron fellow was walking around, too.
Bobby, you've been dreaming again.
Where were the soldiers all this time?
Well, that big iron guy grabbed him and knocked him out. I like Mr. Carpenter, Mom. I'm kind of scared.
Girl, you gotta love your man.
Tom, will you ask Mr. Carpenter to come down for a minute?
Sure.
He's in the room next to mine.
Okay.
Take it by the hand, make him understand.
He's not there. Do you think it's all right for you to stay here?
I've got a good lock on my door. Bobby's gonna sleep in my room tonight. Bobby, your shoes are soaking.
Yeah, grass was kind of wet.
Yeah. Don't be fooled by the Clark Kent. Rough stuff to get you spent, dealing with the dark gent and hard sweat. Do you like you did me wrong? Switch it on and then perform. Twist sheets to keeps the what grown?
What is it you want?
Before I ask you to be honest with me, perhaps I should be completely honest with you.
What happened?
We shall be here for a little while. About 30 minutes. You see, the electricity's been neutralized. All over the world. I can see no other hope for your planet. If this meeting should fail, then I'm afraid there is no hope. It must be 12:30.
Yes. Where are you going now?
Back to the boarding house. I'll be safe there for the afternoon. I can keep an eye on Bobby. He's the only other person who knows anything about what
No, wait a minute. There's someone else.
Who?
Tom. He was there last night when Bobby told me what he saw.
Do you think he'd tell anyone?
I'll get in touch with him right away to make sure.
Up till now, we've agreed upon the desirability of capturing this man alive. We can no longer afford to be so particular.
Margaret, call the Pentagon. Find out who's in charge of this spaceman business. Whoever it is, I want to talk to him.
Mrs. Benson's been trying to get you all afternoon. She says it's important.
Get this other call first.
Oh, Mrs. Benson, he just walked in.
Oh, fine.
Oh, Helen, come on in.
Tom, I've been trying to get you all afternoon.
I have some terrific news about your friend, Mr. Carpenter.
What about him?
Helen, he's the man from the spaceship.
I know, it's true. But you've got to promise me you won't say a word to anybody.
Are you crazy? He's a menace to the whole world. It's our duty to turn him in.
But he isn't a menace.
Oh, don't be silly, honey, just because you like the guy.
I'm not going to let you do it.
Yes?
Believe me, Tom, this is the most important
What's his name,
thing in the
Margaret?
world.
General Cutler. Yes. Oh, all right, I'll hold on.
Tom, you mustn't. You don't know what you're doing. It isn't just you and Mr. Carpenter. The rest of the world is involved.
I don't care about the rest of the world. You'll feel different when you see my picture in the papers. You wait and see. You're going to marry a big hero.
I'm not going to marry anybody.
Helen, Hello, General Cutler? No, I don't want to speak to his aide. I want to speak to the general. Tell him it's about the spaceman. Yes, of course I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevens. I want to talk to you further, but I haven't time now. Deploy all Zone 5 units according to Plan B, immediately.
It's only a few blocks to Barnard.
Worried about Gort. I'm afraid of what he might do if anything should happen to me.
Gort, but he's a robot. Without you, what could he do?
He could destroy the Earth. If anything should happen to me, you must go to Gort.
You must say these words. Klaatu, birada, nikto. Please repeat that.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
You must remember those words. You must say these words. Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, necktie, nectar, nickel.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nektu.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Yeah, stop.
Yellow cab, license number H0012, heading west on 15th Street at Treasury Place.
Block off all streets intersecting Connecticut Avenue on a line from Wisconsin to the park. All vehicles close in. Let's go.
This is not going to end well.
Get that message to Gort right away.
Klaatu, birada, nikto. Klaatu, birada, nikto.
Klaatu, birada, nikto.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and I, brother. In his hands he has you and I, brother. In his hands he's got you and I, brother. Right in his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody. Right in his hands he's got everybody. Right in his hands he's got everybody. Right in his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. I want you to come on with your money. Don't be afraid to give. He got the whole world in his hand. He sure can let you live. He got you and I, brother. In his hands he's got you and I, brother. In his hands he's got you and I, brother. Right in his hands he's got the world in his hands.
I thought you were...
I was.
You mean... he has the power of life and death?
No. That power is reserved to the Almighty Spirit. This technique, in some cases, can restore life for a limited period.
But how long?
You mean how long will I live? That no one can tell.
The army people have asked us to leave, and since their concern is for our safety, I can do nothing but suggest that we comply.
I am leaving soon. And you will forgive me if I speak bluntly. The universe grows smaller every day, and the threat of aggression by any group, anywhere, can no longer be tolerated. There must be security for all, or no one is secure. Now, this does not mean giving up any freedom, except the freedom to act irresponsibly. Your ancestors knew this when they made laws to govern themselves and hired policemen to enforce them. We of the other planets have long accepted this principle. We have an organization for the mutual protection of all planets and for the complete elimination of aggression. The test of any such higher authority is, of course, the police force that supports it. For our policemen, we created a race of robots. Their function is to patrol the planets in spaceships like this one and preserve the peace. In matters of aggression, we have given them absolute power over us. This power cannot be revoked. At the first sign of violence, they act automatically against the aggressor. The penalty for provoking their action is too terrible to risk. The result is we live in peace, without arms or armies, secure in the knowledge that we are free from aggression and war, free to pursue more profitable enterprises. We do not pretend to have achieved perfection, but we do have a system, and it works. I came here to give you these facts. It is no concern of ours how you run your own planet, but if you threaten to extend your violence, this Earth of yours will be reduced to a burned-out cinder. Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration. We shall be waiting for your answer. The decision rests with you.
Klaatu, birada, nikto. 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 Klaatu, birada.